Lipscomb hosting North Florida tomorrow night in the Atlantic Sun Tournament. Meanwhile, the SEC heads to the final bend, the final regular season week before the SEC Tournament next week down in Tampa. Tennessee with a huge win over Auburn over the weekend. By the way, crazy weekend of college basketball. On Saturday, the top 6 teams in the Associated Press poll all lost. First time in the history of the sport that happened on the same day. Tennessee, one of the teams to pull the upset. They knocked off, at the time, third-ranked Auburn and kept themselves alive in the SEC conference race. Auburn sitting there at 13-3. Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, all a game back at 12-4. Auburn has the easiest schedule to go, so good chance the Bruce Pearl's guys can close it out this week, but it's going to have to get done here in the final week of the regular season. Tennessee closes out with Arkansas, a showdown of that 3 teams that are tied there for second place on Saturday for Senior Day. But first, a trip to Georgia tomorrow. A Bulldogs team under Tom Crean that's just 1-15 so far in the SEC this year. But Rick Barnes has cautioned his Vols not to look past the Bulldogs.
Last week in a different manner, you think your guys can come down from the high of Saturday and be ready, to take on a Georgia team that's only won one game in the SEC?
Rob, I think they better. We came in yesterday and, we told them after the game that, hey, it was a big win for us, but we enjoy it Saturday night, but know that they come in yesterday focused and with laser focus, knowing that we've got another big game Tuesday night, and we came in yesterday and obviously went through the things that we didn't do very well. And so with the message was today's the most important day we've got. We've got to come out and practice hard today. We got to be focused, again, like we have been really for the most part all year long, knowing that we've got to play good basketball.
Rick, were you more impressed when you went back and watched Brandon on film, and what's the next step for him now that it seems like he's gained some confidence?
Consistency, yeah. We were. After the game, we talked about Brandon was one of the first guys we congratulated in the locker room because he was his preparation, mental preparation before the game has gone to a different level in the last week. He came in a couple games ago, he did it again, wanting to know exactly what was expected of him on the defensive end. And I think that's where he's probably changed as much. I think most young players coming in, their whole way of looking at the game is from an offensive side of the ball, as opposed to realizing there's so much more that goes into the guts of this game that you've got to do away from the ball and on each play, and there's a responsibility, and that's where he's really embraced it. I think really wanting to learn the game in a whole different way, and it's fun to watch him do it. And now we told him, hey, you're starting to show that what you can do, what we've known you could do all along, and you got to give him credit for really buying into it. And now he knows, and I've told him, hey, there's more there, and we're going to get it. And but I think he's excited about what he's done, but knowing that he's got to continue to get better.
Ryan and Grant.
Is this the best rebounding team you've had at Tennessee?
I don't know if I can say that. It's something that we've stopped. I don't look back and look at. I guess numbers in the end will bear that out one way or the other. But we look at each day with our guys and each team. What do this team have to do to get better? And we talked about it a week ago actually, that we had to get better. We had to get better with our ball screen defense, both guards and post players. We talked about rebounding. If we're going to give teams 2-3 shots, we can't get done what we want to get done. And on the other end, we do think we can score the ball, but there's going to be nights where we've had games where we've had great looks and it didn't go in, and we've got to be able to go rebound it at a high level. And just exactly what we don't want teams to do to us, we need to do to them by getting those second shots. But it takes a lot of effort. Takes a lot of work on each player because we've got great respect for every team that we play against, and coaches we play against coaches that know what they're doing, and they're going to say you got to keep them off the board, and they're going to block out. So will you make that second and third multi-effort plays to go get the ball on both ends? And again, that's an area that I would tell you that we can always get better with.
Rick, you mentioned your team has been pretty consistently focused this entire season. How much pride do you take in that as a coach, and where do you think that comes from with this group?
Well, one, I want to appreciate them and them doing their part, but I've said before, I think that we have the best coaching staff in the country. I know how hard they work with these guys. It's not just the voice that they hear from me in practice, but I know that it goes on behind the scenes every day from the time we start early in the mornings with guys individually. And when you have a coaching staff that, again, I believe it. And I know how hard these guys work to prepare. And I know how hard they work in practice, but we do spend a lot of time with our players. And so they're getting the right message from, a coaching staff that has been around. They know what goes into this, and then they're doing their part.
We've talked a lot about Brandon after the game.